My entrepreneurial journey started at 5 years old with a lemonade stand. Um, my parents were both entrepreneurs. My mom was an artist, so she, always did her own thing. And my dad he would renovate houses with his own hands. So we always just assumed that you worked for yourself. It seemed crazy to work for anybody else. And I was always very motivated to understand what was going on in the mind. And so I studied neuroscience. And I was also very motivated to figure out how we could do things that make the world a better place. So I started, my entrepreneurial journey took me through fashion. I was a clothing designer. I was a psychotherapist in private practice. That was my first way to merge an understanding of the mind with trying to help people understand their own minds and improve them.
Were you already sort of aware of the benefits of meditation? How did it come about? Or did you start meditating as you were developing the product?
So I was always fascinated by meditation. And as a psychotherapist in private practice, I would, of course, teach my patients to meditate, my clients. And I'd teach them to meditate in our sessions. They'd go home, they'd try to do it. I would go home and I would try to do it. But as somebody who was also an entrepreneur, my brain was always bouncing all over the place. I had a million ideas simultaneously. The thought of quieting my own mind seemed both impossible and unappealing, because I thought, like, I need all these thoughts. They're serving me. They're serving me. And it wasn't until we began building Muse that I was actually able to use the tool to become an effective meditator myself. So, I knew all of the benefits of meditation. I knew if I could only get that mind that never wanted to quiet, I would see all the changes that we see in research, all the, improvements in the areas of the brain, the improvements in the parts of your life. And it was finally through building Muse and using it to learn about my own mind that I was able to learn to quiet it and then access all of the benefits of meditation.
That's great. So let's dig a little bit deeper into that. What are the benefits of meditation? I know there's a lot of research, but from your point of view, what are the benefits that you can experience, and what is sort of the time frame in which you can start to see these changes?
So there's now over 1,000 published research studies talking about the various benefits of meditation, from helping to manage stress, to improving your concentration, improving your productivity, improving your emotional reactivity, improving your ability to be in the present moment, improving your relationship with your body and your overall health, and also improving your ability to focus, achieve your dreams, and get rid of those negative thoughts that hold you back. So, meditation has like the potential for a gamut of benefits. Not all of those benefits you get the first time you sit down. Meditation is a practice and a thing that you have to do regularly, just like going to the gym, in order to see the benefits that it can have in your life. As you begin a meditation practice, some of the things that people often say they notice first is just the fact that they have a mind that has a lot of thoughts in it, and often those thoughts are not that useful. Most of us just kind of go through our life on autopilot with our thoughts thinking us, and we have a bunch of negative, repetitive thoughts, and we just assume they're supposed to be there, and we don't know what else to do about it. So with meditation, what you learn to do is to take your mind off those negative thoughts and put them onto something neutral, like your breath. And then for the first time, you start to recognize, oh, I don't need to be thinking those things. Oh, I can choose what I'm thinking. I can choose where my mind and where my attention goes. And so you learn this incredibly powerful skill of redirecting your attention and redirecting your thought to the thing that matters to you.
How does that manifest in your life? As I said, there are a lot of entrepreneurs, there are a lot of professionals, ambitious people. They're hustling, they're trying to, achieve their goals. But sometimes, when I talk to them about meditation, they exactly come up with the same excuses. They don't have time. They cannot quieten their mind. So what is the ultimate benefit people can expect to get out of this practice?
So there's no one ultimate benefit. It's a journey, and there are a lot of benefits that you gain along the way. In terms of an entrepreneurial context, we can talk about the benefits from that lens. Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, first of all, it seems like everything's always on fire. There's a ton of emergencies around you. You're always needed. You're pulled in a million places, and you have to drive forward as quickly as you can and achieve. And meditation has the opportunity to have tremendous benefit within that process. So meditation teaches you how to become more efficient, because it teaches you how to acknowledge and let go of the distractions in your life. So we have thoughts that are distracting. We have projects that are distracting. We have people that are distracting. We have, technology that's distracting. So meditation teaches you to be a connoisseur of the things that are important to you and the things that are distracting, and teaches you a very simple paradigm that you use to let go of those distractions and to come back to the thing in front of you that you care about and you're focused on. So it teaches you both how to manage the mental part of that, how to deal with the thoughts that are there and let go of those thoughts and come back to the focus, and to deal with the emotions, because being an entrepreneur is incredibly emotional. And frankly, when you're emotional, you can make some really bad decisions that are not based on the rational facts in front of you.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, it can be like we're in the highs of like, yes, I'm succeeding. I just closed a big round. Yes, somebody just signed a deal, to, oh my God, I lost that deal. I lost 3 deals. This key person is quitting. Everything's going to be awful. I don't know what to do. I feel terrible. And so meditation teaches you to manage the emotions around that and to experience the emotions in your body not as a roller coaster that takes you and throws you, but a sensation that can just rise and fall, so that you're able to rise above an emotional situation, to see the emotions in it simply as, part of the experience, to not create stories around those emotions. Because most of us, feel the sense of like, our key employee is leaving. And then you have all of these thoughts that follow. How am I going to tell the board? How am I going to find somebody else? These projects are going to fall apart. I'm going to get in trouble, and, which then make you feel worse about it, which then give you worse thoughts. And so there's this, spiraling downward cycle between the sensations and feelings in your body and thoughts in your head. So in meditation, what we learn is to, rather than make connections between your thoughts and feelings, to actually simply experience sensation in your body as sensation. I've got some feelings. This person's leaving. I feel that. And then you don't have to make stories about it. And then it doesn't ramp the feelings. And then you can simply see the clear landscape of the situation and make the best decision, rather than being caught in the downward spiral of, frustration and anxiety.
That's great. That's great. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into the science. You have a background in neuroscience and psychotherapy. So, can you tell us a little bit about what is the science behind it? Like, how does this all happen in terms of when you meditate? Something changes in your mind or in your physiological structure. Like, what is happening there?
Sure. So meditation is a practice that you do, but it's also an experience that happens in your brain. And I'm happy to dive a little bit into the neuroscience behind meditation.
Yeah.
So I described the focused attention on, or I'm going to describe a focused attention on the breath practice, which is sort of the basic practice that you do in meditation, where you focus your attention on your breath. Your mind wanders. You then notice that your mind has wandered. You choose to let go of your wandering thoughts and instead come back to your breath. So it's this very simple paradigm. And as you're doing that, part of what's happening is you're activating your prefrontal cortex. So the prefrontal cortex is the attentional control center of your brain. It's the thing that allows us to organize, to plan. It's the thing that makes us a higher order mammal. Other mammals do not necessarily have a prefrontal cortex. It's the thing that separates us from rats and mice. And it's the thing that allows us to make rational judgments and decisions. So in the work of Dr. Sarah Lazar at Harvard, she looked at long-term meditators and was able to see that long-term meditators actually could have a thicker prefrontal cortex than non-meditators. So the act of meditating actually strengthens your prefrontal cortex. It also can shift the relationship between your prefrontal cortex and your amygdala. So your amygdala is the fight or flight center of your brain. It's the thing that's always scanning for danger and freaking out and causing you to have anxiety when stuff seems scary. And it's the thing that really also gets in the way of rational decision making. It's the thing that's saying like, there's a fire over there. Oh no, that person's leaving. It's awful. And in meditation, what happens is your prefrontal cortex actually is able to more effectively regulate your amygdala. So it's kind of like the amygdala is the little child who's having a temper tantrum, and the prefrontal cortex is the parent who is able to step in and say, it's okay, we see clearly and rationally, we know what's going on, you can calm down now. And in a long-term meditation practice, you can actually be strengthening the neural connections between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, so that the prefrontal cortex can now step in more effectively and down-regulate and allow you to have more rational thought and action.
Awesome. And I'm very interested in learning about this. Like, what is your company culture like? Like, do you have employees who meditate? Like, you have, tell me, because meditation is something that I am passionate about, and I think it brings tremendous benefits. And since you're a company focused on that, I'm wondering, like, I want to know, what is your company culture like? Is meditation a part of your company culture?
Meditation is definitely a part of the company culture. So some people come to us having never meditated before, and some people come to us as meditation enthusiasts, and that's why they find us. And we have about 70 employees across 3 offices, Toronto, Denver, and a satellite office in Ireland. So meditation ultimately becomes a practice that you do once you start being at Muse. And we have our Tuesday all team meetings where we update everybody transparently on what's going on with the company. We highlight projects that different teams are doing, and we bring in actually guest meditation teacher every single Tuesday morning. Sometimes it'll be one of the senior staff that leads a meditation, and sometimes a guest. And so everybody guaranteed will have a 15-minute meditation Tuesday mornings, but we often also start our meetings with a simple drop-in. So we might all together, whoever's in the meeting, close your eyes for 1 minute, drop in, focus on your breath, and that brings everybody in the room on the same page. It allows you to let go of whatever you're working on 2 minutes ago and just be present with the team and everybody kind of willing to set the intention to work together during that time. And it makes meetings really efficient, and the communication and the sort of honesty in them much more effective.